Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to King's Quest 6, Heir Today, Gone Tomorrow. So last part, we came out, we're now on this island, and we're going to go and get the magic map, which the ferryman told us about.
Good day!
A mysterious old man also patronizes the pawn shop. He steals sidelong glances at Alexander from under his hood.
Once again, you notice the eye. That is, of course, the
Good day, sir.
genie spying on us.
The old man just glares at Alexander and does not reply.
And we can look around here.
The pawn shop is a dimly lit place with a slightly musty smell. Curiosities litter every corner and every shelf. For sale are articles that range from the bizarre to the commonplace, from the priceless to the practical. The land of the Green Isles must have at least one inhabitant with interest in the mystical, for a crystal ball has been traded in along with the more common household goods. A tall
I'll look at a few
skeleton lends
things.
an air of mystery to the shop. Towering mightily over the other pawn shop curiosities, the stuffed bear makes an ostentatious display.
Over here is a lot of interesting things. It's mainly a recollection of a lot of the failures of the other games in the series.
The back wall of the shop holds various odds and ends. For example, a hull hole detector for finding those hard-to-spot holes in small sailboats.
So yeah, this entire shelf is a reference to a lot of the things they fucked up in the previous game, so, that's a reference to the boat in King's Quest V that you have no clue unless you die.
Cat cookie mix. Play tricks on your friends, the box says.
That, I'm pretty sure, is making fun of the copy protection of King's Quest 3. Blah.
A golden bridle finder for finding those nearly invisible golden bridles.
A reference to King's Quest 4, where there's just a bridle in a place that you can't exactly see it.
Self-adhesive emeralds. What you use when you don't have honey.
That strange puzzle in King's Quest V, where you just throw emeralds and you need honey for some reason.
Tongue climbing gear. Tested on over 100 whale tongues.
Obviously. I mean, that one's just obvious.
A uvula tickler. Guaranteed to make large mammals sneeze.
Also obvious, and I think I just heard thunder. Fun. Hopefully my power doesn't go out.
A cheese hook for retrieving cheese out of small holes.
Obvious King's Quest V in the dungeon.
A shovel that's guaranteed not to break for over 100 grave diggings.
Reference to the grave digging section of King's Quest IV.
A bridge repair kit for when you've crossed a bridge one too many times.
King's Quest II.
Stair traction pads. Stop slipping off those narrow staircases.
Common theme throughout the series.
A hull hole detector. Cat cookie. A golden bridle finder. Self-adhesive emerald. Tongue climb.
I think that's all. So, we'll talk to the pawn shop owner.
Excuse me, merchant, but the ferryman mentioned that you might have a magic map of the land of the Green Isles.
Why, as a matter of fact, I do. I keep it under the counter. It's been gathering dust so long that I nearly forgot about it. It was quite a few years ago, you see. The estate of a wealthy wizard fell into my hands when he died. It was useless magical junk mostly, which reminds me, I've still got some things of his in the back that I need to dump out. Anyway, the magic map was the one true treasure in the lot. The wizard was quite old and feeble, and had enchanted the map to aid in traveling. It is said that one need only desire to be on an island depicted on the map to find oneself there. It is a very valuable map, as you can imagine. Unfortunately, no one is interested in traveling these days. It is far too dangerous with the current state of the kingdom.
What would you take for the map?
I would normally want something magic in return, but since I am hardly overrun with prospective buyers, I would be willing to take anything of equal value in exchange.
It's willing to take anything of equal value, huh? Well, we don't have that much of value. And so we will have to give him our insignia ring for now. We will get it back later, though.
Would you be willing to take my family ring in exchange for the magic map?
Daventry, are you a king then?
No, that's my father, King Graham. I'm just Alexander.
Well, Prince Alex, she is a beautiful ring. Are you sure you can part with such a unique family heirloom?
The ring does mean a lot to me. I didn't always have a family, you know. Still, it is only gold. There are more important things at stake now.
Then you now own a magic map, Prince Alex. I will keep your ring out of sight for a few days. If you find anything else of great value in your travels, you can come back for your ring. I would hate to see it melted down for gold. Ah, and a warning about the map. It will only operate when you are out in the open and within sight of the sea. The limitation has something to do with the teleport spell ingredients. You might try the beach.
Actually, it has to do with
Thank
technical limitations,
You
but
are very
we'll
kind.
suspend our
And I'll remember
disbelief.
about the map.
Also, apologies for talking over any of the voice.
Suddenly, the old man in the concealing cloak sneaks past Alexander, and with a sneaky dart of his hand, steals a mint from the candy jar. The old man stuffs the mint into his mouth and wobbles unsteadily out of the pawn shop.
Seconds later, in the castle.
Master! I followed Prince Alexander as you wished. From the pawn shop owner, he just abstained, just reprieved. He just got a magic map.
You fool! You've been eating those mints again. I ordered you to stop that.
Yes, Master.
Now, what is this about a magic map?
With the map, Prince Alexander could travel anywhere as quickly as I can.
I thought I took care of the only means of travel. By my scimitar, I can't have him stirring things up now. Get a hold of yourself and listen carefully, Shamir. Go to the other islands and tell them...
Oh, what is he gonna tell them? I'm sure nothing bad.
How fare you, good merchant?
I am as content as the sands on the ocean shore, Prince Alex.
So we're not done here, because he has a various assortment of items on the desk here.
The pawn shop's counter is made of a sturdy teak. The wood is well worn by eager hands and well oiled by the shop's faithful keeper.
And we will need them.
The counter feels as... The counter... Alexander takes a closer look at the items on the counter.
I'm interested in that
What do you desire to give me in trade? The items on the front counter are all of equally slight value, worth only a copper or two. They are handy items nonetheless.
So we'll need to give him an item that, we can trade him. And give him the coin, because we have no other use for it.
I have this copper coin. Is it of any value to you at all?
Most interesting. I have never seen a Daventry coin before, but it is copper genuine enough. I might even find a buyer who is interested in foreign currency. The items on the front counter are the only things in the store that I can let go for the price of 1 copper. You may make your choice from there.
Alexander looks at the items on the counter to make his selection.
So we have a wind-up nightingale, a flute, or yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a flute, a painter's brush, and fucking
Have you an interest in tinderboxes?
a tinderbox, yeah. You don't know exactly what you're going to need. However, I do, so I'm going to pick the nightingale.
That mechanical nightingale looks intriguing. I believe I'll take it.
Very well. Your coin is well spent. Remember, this is a pawn shop. I am always willing to take back my own goods in trade.
I'll remember. Thank
And
you.
we will definitely be doing that. Kind of a dumb decision to do in a pawn shop, but you know. Yeah, interesting business practices. And we also grab a mint, because
Alexander takes
course.
a mint.
we're going to be using it somewhat soon, so. And we'll go back into the bookshop. Not for a book,
Hello. I will be right up.
but for this guy. Actually, I don't think I can
Now,
do that yet, because
What can I do for
I
you?
don't have the ring. Oh, jeez.
Good day, sir. Is there anything you can tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
I'm sorry, but I have no time for idle conversation. I'm too worried about the princess.
So actually, I can't converse with him right now. That's fine. Because I need the ring to show him that I'm official and to be trusted, so. Yeah, I can't do that. So, anyways, we'll head to a area that has the ocean, and we will use the map.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
And this is going to be our only means of travel between the islands. Okay, so first off, trying to think here. We have to go to the Isle of the Sacred Mountain first. Because it has two items, a black feather
Alexander takes the feather.
and a flower.
Alexander picks the flower and is startled by its hideously strong skunk-like odor. For a moment he can smell nothing else.
And I think we'll actually, let me think here. I think I do actually have to head back to the Isle of the Crown, because, to get an item. There is nothing on the Isle of the Beast that we can do quite yet. So, yeah, we'll head back to the Isle of the Crown. And that's just for one reason. Also, there's a bird right there. We're not going to be interacting with him for a bit. As you can see, the pawn owner dumped out
A large round pot.
a bunch of shit, and we're gonna go search it.
Alexander sorts through the odds and ends that the pawn shop owner dumped into the pot. Magic exploding gum wrappers, a shattered crystal ball, a cracked wand, a fake thumb. Near the bottom, Alexander finds a little glass bottle labeled ink. It appears to be empty, but Alexander decides to take it anyway. You never know when a small bottle will come in handy.
That seems interesting.
Alexander's carrying a little ink bottle. It appears to be empty. Alexander shakes the bottle and imagines he hears a faint swishing sound, but decides he is mistaken.
Well, how about we just, like, open it and see,
Alexander decides to open the empty ink bottle.
It's stuck. It's...
What was that?
Whoa!
Good audio balance.
The ink bottle isn't empty at all. It's full of invisible ink. Not very strong, but not bad.
And yes, we will be needing that. Because our first stop is at the Isle of Wonder, and we actually cannot get past it. Well, now, with what we have, we can. I wanna open the map,
Alexander pulls out his...
and we're gonna go to the Isle of Wonder. And now we're here. And, let's try and go forward.
Alexander hears someone coming.
"5 fierce guards of the isle we be, Watch for a foreign man, said he, with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If man it be, then man it dies. Old Tom Troll, smell your smell. Do that which you do so well.
So this section requires us to have the correct items to show these guys, or else we will be thrown into the ocean and will die. So first off, it's all the senses. First off, we get
Alexander holds the flower of stench out to the gnome with the jumbo nose.
First off, we gotta do scent.
Tom Troll I am, that's all I'll be. My nose knows all on land and sea. A flower of stench has washed ashore. A flower 'tis all, and nothing more. Listen, hark you, Grovelor, do your duty as you swore. With your ears, please tell us more.
So for this one, we gotta use the mechanical nightingale.
Alexander winds the tin nightingale and plays it for the gnome with the monumental ears.
A nose is not a way to spy. My ears cannot be told a lie. A nightingale is all there be. No man is near, and so say me. Taste, Grump, that we might know whether friend or whether foe.
So this one is taste, and we have the mint, Yeah.
Alexander holds the mint out for the gnome with the gigantic mouth.
And I'm seeing lightning now. Fun.
Grump knows a tasty treat. It matters not what others bleat. No danger is this one so sweet.
The fucking weather in my area has been ridiculous
Trilly,
lately.
dilly, use your hands. Is it beast or is it man?
This one is touch. We have the rabbit's foot to deal with that.
Alexander holds the rabbit foot out for the gnome with the huge hands.
It's sunny, and then, and then it fucking rains.
Behold, you man!
That's been the weather
What
recently.
aileth thee? A bunny can't trill merrily. A hare does not at all taste sweet. A rabbit here is all we greet.
Old Bill Batter, never fatter. Vision can resolve this matter. Look you now and end this chatter.
So, probably the more hard one to cover up, but we do have the invisible ink.
Alexander pours the contents of the empty-looking ink bottle over himself.
By all that's beauteous, fair, and sightly, 4 morons do I sleep with nightly. There's nothing there at all, I say. Enough of this. Let's now away.
And with that, we've taken care of the problem, and we won't have that much problems here now.
Alexander did it! He's fooled the guards!
He's fooled the guards. And here,
A string of letters floats in the water. The letters spell out, "Where are you going?" Alexander's heard of alphabet soup, but this is ridiculous.
and we will take that. Of course.
Alexander picks up the object floating in the water. It appears to be a string of letters. They say, "Where are you going?" Alexander decides to keep the odd sentence, even though it is incomplete.
And yes, we will be taking that for a word puzzle.
Oyster beds line the seashore. Most of the oysters are sound asleep. One of the oysters is sitting up in bed and doesn't look very happy. He seems to be the only one who can't sleep. In the oyster's mouth, Alexander can see a glint of white.
Seems important.
Why aren't you asleep like the other oysters?
Oh, I'm so weary, but I can't sleep. I have a terrible ache in my mouth.
Also, when I said that all the voice acting in this game is great, I lied, because there's still some that are rough. So we need to get this oyster to sleep. So let's read him the incredibly boring book that we got from the library.
If you're having trouble sleeping, perhaps you'd like me to read to you.
Hey, that would be great.
2 dulcimers raised to the degree of 40 half-dulcimers, divided into equal parts by the third of a cackle of grouse geese, put over the result of 10 fine mackles, albeit small fine mackles, stretched over the total of 53 1/8 bottles of wild beast lard,
Quickly.
Alexander sees nothing of...
yields a gilded
I'm
minnow
gonna turn
of
down
precise
cycles, because
measurements.
that was way too fast.
2,069 centidrills by 3,023 6/7 puns, not punts, as might be expected.
Alexander makes a grab for the pearl.
Just skip it, wherever.
Hey, you fixed my mouth. It feels great.
The little oyster drifts into peaceful slumber with the rest of his oyster friends.
Had to turn down cycles there, because he just closed his mouth instantly. Whatever. One of the few
Alexander
glitch problems. Anyways, because we have that pearl, we can actually trade that in and get our ring back, which we need to do, because I forgot to talk to that one guy earlier. So let me go ahead and fix that real quickie.
Your candy dish is empty.
I am sorry, sir, but I have no more mints. Somebody has eaten them all.
Well, get some more then.
I fear that is impossible. Without the ferry, I can no longer get imports from the other islands, and we do not grow mint extract on the Isle of the Crown.
Oh, I hate not getting what I want.
What a real dickhead. Anyways, we'll give the pearl to him.
I found this large pearl. Might it be valuable enough to ransom back my family ring?
I have never seen such a perfect pearl. Certainly you can have your ring back.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't sell it. I'm a bit attached to it, I'm afraid.
Of course you are. You would be cold-hearted if you felt any differently. I am happy to see a family heirloom back with its rightful owner.
Alright. Now we have the ring. We'll head back into the bookshop.
Hello?
And talk to this guy. Actually, I think if you talk to him
Now.
a second time, you get something else.
Excuse me again, sir. You mentioned the princess.
I told you I'm not interested in talking to strangers.
So obviously we need to show that, you know, we aren't just some stranger, so we'll obviously show him the ring.
Determined to learn more about the strange man's relationship with the princess, Alexander shows the man his insignia ring and formally introduces himself.
I'm sorry to insist, but my name is Alexander of Daventry, and...
I appreciate the offer of the ring, Alexander, but I'm afraid I'm already spoken. Daventry? Where have I heard of Daventry? Flying flit mice. You must be Prince Alexander. Cassima told me about you when she arrived home. How came you here?
Why, by a ship, now wrecked upon the sand. But you know Cassima? She truly spoke of me?
Yes, I saw her briefly when she first returned home. She mentioned a prince to me, Prince Alexander of Daventry. I'm afraid that was before she was told about her parents' deaths. You see, she arrived home a few weeks too late. The king and queen thought they'd never see her again. It is said they died of heartbreak. I'm afraid she's blamed herself.
What a terrible homecoming. If we had only known.
Terrible indeed, poor thing. Everyone in the kingdom seems to despair with her these days. The streets are silent.
Where is she now?
The princess is sequestered in mourning. It's a rather dated tradition, and not required, but the Wazir says she insisted out of respect.
I see. You've yet to say who you are, and how you know the princess.
I? Oh, pardon me. My name is Jalo. I am clown to the royal court, and have been since the marriage of Casima's parents, King Caliphim and Queen Alaria. Oh, those were the happy days. The pair of them were so full of joy and life, so in love. And Casima's birth. It would be hard to explain how long they had waited, how they had hoped for a child. I mean, she was such a charming little thing, smart as a whip, kind and sweet. Oh, she means everything to this kingdom, Alexander, and to me. I'm so terribly worried about her.
About her grief over her parents, you mean?
Well, the truth is, I do not trust the Wazir or his plans for Casima. I'm still living at the Castle of the Crown as court clown, his clown. But it is more to keep my ear to the ground than out of loyalty. I wish I knew what the princess thinks these days. If only I could find Sing Sing, Casima's pet nightingale. I might be able to send the princess a message. As it is, I must wait for the end of her seclusion.
What can you tell me about the Wazir?
The Wazir? Now there's a dangerous subject. His name is Abdul al-Hazred. He came to the kingdom 15 years ago. The king was fascinated by his knowledge and his fine-sounding ideas. It didn't take long for al-Hazred to convince the king to trust him with the minor problems of daily government. You see, Caliphim had a wife and a new daughter he wanted to spend time with. Al-Hazred became Wazir.
And now?
Well, he's had his eye on Casima ever since she was a young girl. And she is the only thing between him and the throne.
Do you think he means to harm her?
Oh, I honestly don't know. I think he'd rather keep her as wife. But whatever his plans for the princess, he will use her to his best advantage. That's his way.
Perhaps he has charmed her. Perhaps she cares for him now.
The Wazir is capable of anything, and Casima must be vulnerable and lonely right now. Still, she has always instinctively distrusted him. Casima has a good head on her shoulders. I'd be surprised if she's truly fallen for his words of love. Now I must return to the castle. Look, I don't want to arouse suspicion. I'll try to meet you here again later.
Thank you for the information, Jalo. Be very careful.
That is one of the few things in this game that actually affect the ending. You have to befriend him, or else, well, I won't spoil anything. Anyways, the reason why we want to go to the Isle of Wonder first is that it has the most things that, you know, we can actually do right off the bat. There's the boatsman fixing his shit. So we'll go back to the Isle of Wonder.
Alexander.
And we're gonna go ahead and go up here. And we're into this place.
A pretty stone path. Two fat. Alexander is standing in a delectable garden. Nestled in the bright green grass are colorful plants growing in orderly clusters. Some of their curious faces peer up at Alexander from the sides of the path. The garden ends at a speckled gate.
So yeah, this is why it's the Isle of Wonder, because
Vines of sweet ripening tomatoes climb up little wooden posts.
there's mainly a lot of puns and references and shit here, so...
Alexander takes a close look at the tomato in the ground. It appears to be darker than those on the vines.
What are you staring at there, boy? Go away, you rootless thing, you! Yeah!
Seems like a great person.
How did you manage to fall off the vine, Mr. Tomato?
What do you think? I'm old, I'm rotten! Yeah! Leave me alone!
If you say so.
After all, you're just gonna let me sit here and rot on this dry ground like everybody else, aren't you?
Why, I don't know. I suppose...
Ah, never mind! Just go away! Ah!
And because this is a Sierra game, obviously we're going to take him.
Hey! What do you think you're doing there? Get your hands off me! Hey!
Alexander picks up Rotten Tomato and puts him away. One never knows when one will need a rotten tomato.
There's a bunch of other shit we can look at here.
Unless Alexander is mistaken, those plants must be baby's tears.
I think that's a type of plant.
A gray brick wall marks the end of the
Pretty
garden.
sure it is. I want to look at the vines.
Clinging vines climb the garden wall.
And if you go over there, you will die. Because this is a Sierra game.
The wallflowers look terribly shy. A colorful array of snapdragons stand guard to one side of the path. Is that lettuce growing in the garden? It looks a little chilled. Why, it must be iceberg lettuce.
And we will take that later, but we won't right now, because it will actually melt in our inventory.
Those snapdragons don't like Alexander getting so close.
And we can't die to them, unfortunately. There's this thing on the
There
wall.
appears to be a hole in the garden wall.
Let's take a look through it.
Through the hole in the wall, Alexander sees a land that resembles a giant chessboard. Wow, it really is a hole in the wall. Zounds, those wallflowers sure are shy, and the snapdragons are awfully protective of them. Alexander can't even get close to the wallflowers without causing quite a stir.
Yeah, whatever. I think we can just take the hole in the
Alexander
wall.
decides to pick up the hole in the wall. A hole in the wall could be a very useful thing.
Ow, my ears.
Alexander startled the poor thing. It's run off to hide behind the wallflowers.
And we obviously can't get those right now, because they move in the way of the hole in the wall. So anyways, we'll head through this door. And oh my god!
Alexander is standing at the edge of a strange land with rolling checkered hills. Two chessboard knights stand before the marble entrance, guarding a path which wanders like a ribbon into the velvety hills.
I can't wait to explore over here. Oh wait, we never get to go over here.
Checkmate! Only chess pieces allowed in chessboard land? That's right. Humans aren't allowed in and never will be. Stay out!
I must insist, Your Highness. I shall send a lump of coal to the Vizier and the Princess as a present for their wedding, and that's the end of it.
And I suppose you'll leave me with only this stupid spoiled egg to send, Your Highness. I want to impress the new king and queen of the realm as much as you do. As queen of this island, I have every right to that lump of coal.
Who isn't queen of this isle? The lump of coal is in my possession. Therefore, I shall do as I please with it. Besides, there's nothing wrong with that spoiled egg.
The egg, though delightfully spoiled, is not nearly so valuable as the lump of coal, and you know it. Your Highness always got to carry the singing stone. It's not fair that you get the coal, too.
That doesn't count. The singing stone was stolen by that horrid beast. I should get to keep the coal just because my stone was stolen.
It wasn't your stone. It belonged to the Isle of Wonder treasury. Your Highness always thinks that everything is hers.
Excuse me, my good man, but could you settle an argument for us?
Which of us should get to carry the coal and which the egg? Remember, white is the color of deserving truth and virtue.
Quiet, your Highness, and let him make up his own mind. I, for one, shall be more proper, and not even mention the fact that red is the color of love.
I'm sorry, Your Majesties. I'm partial to both red and white, but I'm afraid that I don't know how to solve your problem. One of you will just have to be gracious and allow the other the lump of coal.
What a ridiculously stupid idea.
Quite ludicrous.
He was a lot of help, wasn't he?
Oh, yes. Obviously a man of high intelligence. The lump of coal goes much better with my gown anyway. Black and red are imperial colors.
We will solve their problem.
That's the silliest thing I ever heard. Red does not go with anything, being much too self-conscious. White is the perfect accompaniment to any color.
We will solve their problem, but much later. Anyways, the Red Knight, or what, Red Queen, or fucking, I don't know, Chess, goddammit, dropped her scarf, so we might as well take it.
Alexander picks up the Red Queen's scarf.
Yeah. And we'll head out. And yeah, that's all we need from here. I will actually end it here, because we've been going on long enough, so, yeah, once again, I will see you sometime later. Bye.